As we slowly drift into winter, welcome to the Journeyman's Tales. It's been very busy up here again today, and it's kind of forced me into a swim that I've had my eye on for a while, just margin fishing, and kind of wouldn't pick it out first choice, but it's kind of forced me into doing it, which is only good. I mean, I need to move around a bit more and try various things. So it's kind of good in a way that it's been busy, but I'm fishing quite close in, just off the near marginal shelf into the deeper water, and I'm just slowly putting in bait with the catapult now. I've been dribbling it in slowly since I've been here, mid-afternoon, and you can't put a lot in any one go because of the seagulls, so every now and again I manage to get 3 or 4 pouches out, and probably a good thing really, but literally as soon as you pick the catapult up, it's a bit like a thrown stick, up they come. We managed to get a few in before they arrive and disturb everything. Now at the moment it's very quiet. The weather is due to get a bit rougher later on in the week with some rain and some stronger winds and the pressure dropping. And I don't know, just it could very well work that they move into what is relatively a quiet corner away from things. It'll either hero or zero really. Anyway, good to get it out of my system, good to be forced into a position that I wouldn't necessarily put top of my list. But I don't know, just could produce, you just don't know, do you, till you try it. For most of my winter campaign on the local syndicate, I'm going to be using Probait's UK TT. Now it's a kind of a nutty, creamy, highly digestible boilie, which has got a huge reputation on here and many other waters around the country and indeed abroad. And it's not just a winter bait, it works all year round. So I'll be a fool not to give it a go. Now, you know, I like to fish wafters, so I'm going to convert one of the bottom baits into a wafter by inserting a cork plug. So I use a 6mm drill, just drill out a small hole about 3/4 of the way through the boat, and then just insert a 6mm cork plug into it. And when I'm fixing it or putting the needle through for the boilie, what I tend to do is to go in the cork side very gently, twisting it through, and pull it back out, and then turn it round, go back as I would normally, and then pull the floss through. And that's the kind of rig I'm using at the moment, with the long shank hook that I spoke about in the last video. Actually, I'm not a particularly good advocate for it at the moment because I'm not catching, but I don't think anything's come out for a few days now. But we are into December and fish activity is slowing down. I did hear one bosh. I didn't see it off to my right in the corner last night, and that's the only thing I've seen so far. But it's nice and calm. It's not ridiculously cold. I mean, we're in December and the temperatures aren't that bad. And we're due for a bit of southwesterly wind and rain coming in, maybe later on this afternoon, certainly by tomorrow. Maybe that'll perk things up. Just coming into the second evening, it's all very quiet. We did have a little sprinkle of rain earlier on, but it seems to have disappeared. The clouds are disappearing. I don't know when this monsoon's supposed to be turning out from the southwest, but the breeze that we got is still from the north and northeast, which means I'm in the lee of it all at the moment. Apart from seeing one stick his head out off to my right last night, all very quiet. I've still got 2 rods on the baited area, and I've got a free roving pop up on a hinge stiff rig, and all very quiet. But we'll certainly stick it out for tonight, see what happens. Hopefully, if this wind does pick up and the rain comes in, the air pressure is going to drop quite considerably. Whether that will have a positive effect or not, I don't know. Anyway, we persevere. This seems to be my view of the world for most of the day, I think. Well, as you can see, I moved swims. I was sitting watching the water yesterday afternoon. It was about 3 o'clock. A fish boshed out just out off the island. So I watched it for a bit, and about half an hour later, another one boshed out. Another one, could have been the same fish. So I decided that the best thing to do was to move back into the swim that I was in last week, to give me access to the island. So that's a job and a half, I can tell you. But anyway, I managed to do it. Got the first 2 rods out fairly quickly once I got all the gear up here, and within a matter of minutes I'd had a big liner. I mean, it was just pulling line off the bait runner. Unfortunately, it was just a liner, and the other rod that I'd got in, that started bobbing up and down as well. So I recast them a little bit shorter, which unfortunately took a number of casts to get it right. And I don't know if that put them off or moved them on. Needless to say, nothing's happened since. I had a couple of bleeps in the night, but that's been about it. But the rain was torrential overnight, which was forecast, and the big southwesterlies turned up, and the barometers dropped hugely as well. So kind of all bodes well, but I would have thought something would have possibly turned up this morning. But I don't know, it's about mid-morning now, and I didn't see it, but I heard a fish bosh in the vicinity. So whether it was off the island, I couldn't tell. But it's actually stopped raining, so I managed to get out, stretch my legs and have a look around. But hopefully they'll return at some point. I did manage to get a few baits out last night with a throwing stick, but it was well into darkness by then. But anyway, when something happens, I'll get back to you. Well, we're now into late afternoon and the sky is beginning to clear as forecast, thankfully. The rain has finally finished. It's looking like there's some breaks up there and some blue skies coming through. Mind you, it's just going to be a drop in the temperature on it. But the wind is moving around from southwest to, I don't know, northwesterly a bit. Either way, it's quite nippy now. But I've recast the 3 rods. I'm not going to put any bait until the light goes, because the seagulls on here are, I don't know, in their hundreds, I think. So once the light starts going, I'll start sticking out some boilies just to get a bit of something in the area. I'm not sure. I did it after dark last night, so I wasn't sure where they were going. I don't think they were going too long, but I just want to get a spread of bait out there rather than patches of it. And maybe that'll encourage something, but it's been fairly quiet out there. I think, certainly over this side anyway. I think they've come off, I think the 83s have had fish, but not me. Anyway, one more night, then back home to some warmth. And I don't know what's going to happen after this, to be perfectly honest. I'm supposed to be going to Blackthorn Fishery later on this month for a long weekend, but I'm not sure whether we can actually travel out of Wales legally yet. I know Blackthorn are open, but they can't take anybody from Tier 3, I think it is. So if they can't take anybody from Tier 3, they might not be accepting people from Wales, because legally we're not allowed out, and I don't want to compromise Charlie particularly, but I don't know if the Welsh Government are going to make an announcement about travel tomorrow. Anyway, fingers crossed they will relax it for a bit so we can leave the country. Anyway, I'm starving. I'm going to start cooking my tea in a minute, I think. And fingers are crossed for this evening and tonight. Well, that was a hard 3 days. Even moving on to fish didn't pay off, sadly. Well, I'm slowly starting to pack away. And the next trip is scheduled to be Blackthorn. I mentioned that yesterday. I think the good news is that as of 6 o'clock tonight, we can travel out of Wales into areas 1 and 2. And that Blackthorn is in area 2. So at the moment, things are looking good, but who's to know who might throw a spanner in the works. Anyway, hopefully see you again at Blackthorn. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you can spread the word and get some more subscribers, that'd be really great. Either way, I'll catch you again soon. Cheers for now.